Vanilla can be so expensive, and you want to make sure you're getting your money's worth when you buy beans or extract. Are fancy brands like Nielsen Massey worth the extra cost, or is it all just marketing? Honestly, after all of my testing I've done, I would say that flavorings that are a blend of pure and imitation flavor are probably the best value for your money. But if you do want pure vanilla flavor, I can't say there's any brand of extract that's obviously the best. There may be one that you'd like better than others, but I can't tell you that. That's up to you. If you're serious about finding one that you like, it's worth buying 2 or 3 different products and comparing them yourself. It would be nice if we could all buy 10 products and compare them, but that's cost prohibitive for most of us. I did that, but that's just me. Any pure extract you can find is worth trying. You can find a bigger selection at specialty baking shops, or you get tons of options if you order online. There's not a big difference in price between brands, so it can be hard to make a choice. There are a lot of options. For something as special as vanilla, I appreciate vendors that specialize. If I can browse a company's website and there's transparency as to where they get their beans from, if they tell you exactly how they make their extract, little things like that count for something. There's also the ethical component, fair trade for growers and suppliers and all that. Maybe this is all just marketing, but it works for me. It gives me something to go off of to narrow down my options. Nielsen Massey is a good default. It's classic and widely available, but I think they're worth calling out for their extracts from different bean varieties, even the less common sources like Uganda. That's really cool. Not something you see from most vendors. Cook's and Benilla are similar premium brands. If McCormick's is all you can find, that's fine. It does perform well in taste tests, and I read how the company even works with growers in Madagascar to help in their farms, and that's worth supporting. Now, shopping for whole beans. That's a little trickier. I read in some articles that when market conditions are bad, suppliers will pick beans prematurely or cure them more quickly, and they're not as good. I don't like the sound of that. If I'm going to pay a premium price, I want to make sure I'm getting a premium product. You might find some at grocery stores. Near me, they were as cheap as $4 per bean or as much as $15 per bean. And who knows how long these have been sitting on a shelf. Some of them don't even tell you what variety it is or where it was grown. It's probably Madagascar, but still, I'd like to know. I shouldn't have to guess. You have many more options if you buy online. One thing you'll see right away is different grades, usually grade A and grade B. While grade A costs a bit more, they're not necessarily better quality or flavor than grade B. Grade A beans will be more plump and smooth, a bit larger in size, better for recipes which call for scraping the seeds. Grade B beans will be less moist, a bit smaller, they might even be split open, so they're better for long infusions, making extract, or even drying and grinding into powder. Nielsen Massey and major companies sell whole beans at premium prices, but a quick search on Amazon shows prices as cheap as $1.50 for grade A beans. I was suspicious when I saw this. I know the price of vanilla fluctuates due to cyclones and market conditions and all that, but was this too good to be true? Which of these sellers can I trust? I bet some are better than others, but they all have really good reviews. I like snooping around companies' websites and seeing who seems the most legit. You can find out some interesting things if you dig deep enough. One revelation I had during my research was I saw different books and articles refer to Patricia Rain, a woman known as the Vanilla Queen. That rang a bell to me, and sure enough, vanillaqueen.com was a website I'd visited many times before. Lots of good info and articles about vanilla, fun recipes, but more than that, she sells the beans herself. Mostly for wholesale, but there is a retail outlet too. She has a long-standing reputation as vanilla royalty. She's written books based on her decades of research, and she obviously cares a lot about vanilla. I would totally buy from her. Another source in my research was this absolute tome of a book called The Handbook of Vanilla Science and Technology. The information gleaned from the pages was incredibly detailed. I wondered who would write a book like this. I looked into the author, Dr. Daphna Havkin-Frenkel, and she's a very accomplished woman with a PhD in toxicology, a Master of Science in microbiology and phytopathology. I don't even know what that means. She holds multiple patents related to vanilla cultivation and extraction. I get the feeling that she probably knows more about vanilla than anyone on the planet. And sure enough, turns out she has a business too, Bacto Flavors. I trust her products would be very good. You can find them on Amazon, and they're reasonably priced too. Now, I live in Utah, this funny little Mormon desert where vanilla extract is probably the most common form of alcohol consumed. So maybe I shouldn't have been surprised when I did a Google search for Utah vanilla and found a few companies that make vanilla products. Blue Cattle Truck makes Mexican extract and paste and has a good reputation, and I liked it in my taste tests. Also local to Utah is Vanilla Pura, which I'm kind of in love with. They have a wide selection of varieties. Their website is amazing with tons of practical information and tips on making extract. They have a co-op shop where the price for beans is cheaper if you're willing to wait a few weeks to be part of a bulk group order. I can tell its founders Paul and Jill care about vanilla and made something really cool here. #relationship goals. That said, I think all of these Amazon vendors are worth buying from. None of them stood out to me as a bad one that you should stay away from. I bought from a few of the most popular sellers for my experiments, and they all seemed really good. We're lucky to have so many reliable vendors these days. I'm sure it wasn't always that way. To sum up, I say buy whatever beans or extract is in your price range and seems best to you, and I think you'll be satisfied. A few notes about storage once you get the beans. They should be treated like spices. Keep them in the pantry, in a cool, dry, and dark space. Refrigeration or freezing can damage the beans, so just keep them room temperature. Most beans ordered online will arrive vacuum sealed. Great for preserving a lot of food, helps the pods stay moist, but long term this isn't ideal. Dr. Havgen Frenkel reports how cured vanilla pods have active microorganisms, and anaerobic storage, with no exposure to air, can cause reactions that lead to bitter creosote flavors. The degrading reactions are slow, so vacuum sealing short-term shouldn't do much damage. Hopefully your trusted vendor only sealed them just before shipping. If you're not going to use them right away, put them in a glass jar instead. They should stay good for at least a year, and it's a really good idea to pull out the jar once a month, open it, and let it air out for a few minutes. Set up a calendar reminder for yourself. That'll keep the beans preserved, but also allow that bit of air that they need.